Hi there, Zam here for NerdTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of Season 2, Episode 5 of The Bad Batch, Entombed. So, this is an episode right down or up my alley, whatever way you want to enter my alley, to tell you the truth, because this is that Indiana Jones style tomb raiding booby trap episode, and I fucking loved it. In this episode, Omega and Wrecker, they're in a junkyard going through all types of scrap. I think they're looking for a compressor, but Omega, she's just enamored with this place, and she finds all little bits and bobs, nooks and crannies, and trinkets, so to speak. And one of the things she finds is a compass. Now, this is revealed to be a compass by one of Sid's friends, because when they go back to Sid's place, Sid's friend tells them, her name is Fee, played by Wanda Sykes, by the way. She tells them that this is a compass to some ancient treasure on this particular planet, and she has given so much enthusiasm to Omega to find some treasure that the rest of the Bad Batch, well, mainly Hunter, to tell you the truth, reluctantly goes along for this treasure hunt. Now, in the season premiere of season 2, they were treasure hunting and they came up with nothing. So the idea of treasure hunting again is not like the thing that Hunter really wants to do, but lo and behold, they've got nothing else going on at this moment in time, so they thought, fuck it, let's go and look for this treasure. So they go onto this barren planet where they believe the treasure could be located, and that's when the compass starts activating. And so they follow the signals and the symbols and the signs of this compass. It takes them through a mountain, very Lord of the Rings style, by the way, I may add. And talking about Lord of the Rings, as Fee starts to tell more stories about this treasure, because it's a fable, it's a legend, so to speak. She says that it's an ancient pirate story of looking for the heart of the mountain, something we've obviously come across in the Hobbit films. Anyway, they're in this mountain, booby traps galore, as you can imagine. The compass is a way of avoiding those booby traps, because you look through the lens of the compass and you can see all these lights and symbols and so on, so they get around that. But there's also a creature, a monster, so to speak, an alien sort of predator on the planet looking for them, or just happens to be around them, and maybe it's a bit hungry because there's nothing else living on this planet, so the alien's probably thinking, yeah, I'm going to eat myself some Bad Batch. So they've got to deal with that. The group does get split up at one particular point because of some debris falling down, and eventually they all come back together again. They go through all the booby traps and so on. I mean, they succeed by not getting killed by them, I mean. And once they get to the heart of the mountain and they see it, Fee grabs it, and it just happens to be this sort of thing. Like you've seen the Fifth Element. Remember when they have those sort of stones in the Fifth Element? It looks a bit like that. So she picks up this thing. It's blue in color, and it activates like a giant mechanical droid. It looks like a giant Trojan horse, so to speak. It's humongous. You can see it next to me. There it is. That thing there. It's just walking along, and it starts shooting fucking laser beams out of its head, and destroying everything in its path. And one of the things it will end up destroying is the Bad Batch ship. So they have to stop that from happening, and eventually they realize, well, if the heart of the mountain is what activates this droid, maybe the heart of the mountain is what deactivates it. But with the monster also chasing them too, and then they have to have the battle with that as well as try to put the stone back. It's no easy task. Wrecker ends up throwing the monster out of a window, and so they dealt with the monster that way, because Wrecker's so fucking strong he can do something like that. The stone in itself, it keeps being dropped around and stuff like that, and falling into little gaps, and eventually they retrieve it and they put the stone back to its original place they found it from. But then the stone not only deactivates the giant mechanical droid, it also melts, so they can't retrieve the stone in any capacity because it's no longer there, even though the stone itself is a very valuable treasure. And as the droid is being destroyed and stuff like that, the Bad Batch eventually escape, and then they walk back to their ship, and then Fee tells them another story, another fable about another treasure, and yeah, that's really how the story ends, and that's how the episode ends. Very good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Lots of scare moments. It has, like I said, those Indiana Jones elements that I very much appreciate. We got to see a new character in Fee. I actually thought she was going to cop it in this episode. I really did. But then again, this is a kids' cartoon and it is on Disney, so maybe I was expecting a little bit too much. But we do get the odd death in these shows, I believe. Yeah, we have. We had one of the clone troopers. He got killed off by the admiral in the second episode of this season. So it does happen. But yeah, I thought Fee might cop it, but she doesn't. It just felt like it was set up for somebody to die, whilst they're looking for this treasure, but that wasn't the case. Nevertheless, excellent episode. Once again, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Enjoyed it. 30 minutes of harem scarum, swashbuckling adventures and all of that. Got to love this sort of stuff. Bad Batch is, in my opinion, one of the best products of Star Wars coming from Disney at this moment in time. I fucking love it. Let me know what you think of this episode and Bad Batch in general. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Take care. Bye bye.